So let's get into some technical aspects now. There are a lot of musicians over here. Abhay, good to see you. Uh, uh, so let's start with, if I'm a if I'm a guitar player,
Hmm.
I have learned a little bit of the C A minor F G, and I've learned a little bit of the chords, and I've learned. Now, if I want to just get into blues, okay, Amitav, this question is for you. Uh,
Okay.
how do you start if you want to just understand the blues?
So the way I started, sir, is I first learned the 12. Okay, I just want 1 second. I just learned the 12 bars in E. So I just 1 second. That's all I learned. And then the second thing I learned was these riffs. This is probably the most basic one. This one, and the same one you can play slow. You can play as a shuffle, or you can play straight also. And then the and then I learned the pentatonic scale, the minor pentatonic. And then I I tried. I mean, I learned the scale, but then I don't know what to do with the licks because I mean the licks were so varied, and how did they make so many variations in just this scale? That's when I started listening to. I heard Clapton and he used to play this. I mean, he plays this lick all the time. This so like this, I started picking up licks, and from BB King, I learned the box. This, and I think that was the basic thing. And then after that, I started listening to a lot of jazz and how they improvised over the blues. Because, for example, Charlie Parker, the sax player, he plays the blues very differently. He plays major seven and all that. Like
That's
so,
the bebop scale, no?
yeah, the bebop kind of
Yeah, yeah,
thing. So that's a very different style. That doesn't exactly sound sad or anything. Because like this is a very bright note. Like so that's how I started basically picking up licks and phrases, and basically I just listened to music a lot. That's it. I just listened to a lot of albums, a lot of music, and I think in some way I imbibed all of it, and I just practiced all the licks I learned.
But
And
you spoke about, like, sorry to interrupt there, but
no
you
problem, no
spoke
problem,
about
sir.
that major seventh note, for example, and you
Yes.
spoke about how it sounded like a bright note. Now, that actually talks a lot about this concept of ear training. Uh,
Hmm.
for a musician, which is a most important thing, which most musicians today are unfortunately missing out on, because everything is handmade and given on a platter on a YouTube channel. You can just pick up, learn how to learn Smoke on the Water, and
Songs
then
there on YouTube.
you
Yeah.
learn it, and then it's all about spending that amount of time learning the parts and playing it. But will you be able to pick up the next song on your own? You can't, because you're not ear training. So what are the basic tips of ear training? Do you do a lot of ear training and try to pick up things on your own, or do you also
Actually,
go?
so that's actually where I have to credit my teacher in school because he used to tell me never look at tabs because I mean I learned how to read tabs, but he said never look at it. Always listen to the music and try to pick it up. So and then he used to there's some test online, all intervals and all that. So all those things I used to do, and and then he used very hard test was. I think that's how I picked up relative pitch, where he would play one note and he would tell you this is A, and he would play another note and you have to tell what it is. And I
Correct.
think all that ear training helped me. Like now mostly I don't look at tabs or sheet music and all that, so I just pick up what I can hear. Like if it's very difficult or some phrase is very fast and I'm still not able to pick it up, then I will go and like check out the tab to see whether I'm playing it right or not. But mostly I do everything by ear.
Super, and that's a great tip. One of the ways of picking up ear training is by simply starting on a
yeah.
relative pitch thing. Play one
Yeah.
note and try to figure out another. Let's say figure out the second note, and then play it and see whether you're figuring out right. And
Hmm.
or the other way around is, of course, playing it and identifying which one it is. So I think this is something that everyone must do to get your ears trained. Very important aspect. Ehsan, if I ask you to name, let's say, 5 songs that you think that everyone should first pick up and learn to understand basics of blues.
I would definitely say to learn Robert Johnson's Crossroads. Very,
Okay.
very important. I would say listen to and hear St. Louis Blues, which is another very old blues song. Then a tune like maybe Stormy Monday, or any of BB King's slow blues. How Blue Can You Get? Sweet 16, any of the songs. Then maybe listen to Crossroads, the version that Cream played. You get an idea of a little more of the rocky kind of blues. Then listen to Chuck Berry's Johnny Be Good. That is blues, but it's rock. It's the rock and roll song. So that is as much blues as anything else. That's another thing. So these are basic things to get you an idea of what that 12 bars feels like. Once you get the feeling of the 12 bars, then you're ready to understand how it goes. Because the turnaround part of the blues, which is the last few bars, is the most important part. When you really make your statement. And then you settle it in again.
Awesome. Amitav, you want to add a couple of songs here that you think everyone should know if you want to start blues?
So yeah, so I think another tune that I really like. Uh, uh, T-Bone Shuffle, the T-Bone Shuffle, and I think that one everyone should hear because it really the shuffle, the idea of a shuffle. I think really, I don't think he invented the shuffle, but it was heard properly on uh,
Yeah.
recording first, and all the licks he played, all that, and all the riffs,
Yeah,
all that I really loved, and I think everyone should hear that.
that's
Yes,
it.
and these old recordings, especially of, let's say, Robert Johnson or
Yeah.
Hmm.
Blind Melon Jefferson, or you talk about
Yeah, they're a little hard to listen to.
they're a little tough to listen to because of the recordings themselves being very poor. But if you listen to Sun House, Skip James, and
All
you
those
know,
guys. Yeah.
oh my
And
God, and
also Freddie King, BB King, Albert King, Albert
Yeah,
Collins. These
yeah.
four guys. Most important. That's the biggest grounding you'll get. BB King, Freddie King, Albert Collins, and Albert King. You know.
So I think I should also add Otis Rush.
Yeah, Otis Rush too. Yeah. And if you want
absolutely.
to, and a slightly more advanced, slightly advanced playing, you'd want to listen to T Bone Walker, who was a big influence of BB King. And he played a little like he played the blues, but he played different kind of phrasing, a little
Hmm.
faster, a few more chromatic notes. So that was pretty interesting. Also, he's another interesting guitar player to listen.
Amazing.
And then, of course, you have to listen to Jimi Hendrix after that because that is Jimi Hendrix was influenced by all those guys. You know, Buddy Guy, influenced by greatly by Albert King. Albert King was a big influence on when you hear Jimi Hendrix doing this. That's all. That's, that's all. That's why Albert King for That's all. That's again all Albert King.
Let's spend 2 minutes on Jimi Hendrix.
Ah,
What made
Okay.
Jimi Hendrix so special? Ehsan, how do you define how Jimi Hendrix entered the line, and then everyone was like, "What the hell is happening? What is this music?
yeah, I
Why
mean,
did that happen?"
thing is, first of all, the kind of sonic space that he created when he played. I mean, the thing is like I remember when I was at MI, I was talking to a guy, the guy who's a blues instructor. You know, I said, "That man, what you were playing sounded like Jimi Hendrix, so lovely." He's saying, "That's not Jimi Hendrix. I was playing Albert King." He was playing Albert King. Now, Jimi Hendrix took that, added in the fuzz, that whatever
The
vibe, uni
sound.
vibe, that kind of thing, and made it like a monstrous. The way he's played took the emotion to another level with his playing and with his sonic space, and then yet could write tunes like "The Wind Cries Mary" and "Little Wing," where he did all that really intricate kind of coding and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Created
almost
another
like a
thing. He was an amazing guitar player. If you see him live at the Albert Hall playing Red House. That entire if the video is on YouTube, that entire tune is like an encyclopedia of blues licks. If you can copy that, yeah, if you can copy that entire thing, all the solos that he plays, you're like set for quite some time. we'll have a lot of licks for quite some time. So
My God. And did it actually matter that his whole sonic space that you're talking about? Did it matter about the way he was holding the guitar, the whole right-handed guitar, left?
well,
Did it?
actually, he changed the strings. He didn't play the guitar upside down. He restrung the guitar.
Okay, so it was
It was
always
always
this
straight
thing,
down.
because
Yeah.
I heard this myth that the bass strings were down.
No,
So
no,
I think that's for Albert King. Yeah.
Albert King now, and from the new guitar players, Eric Gales,
Mhm.
and
yeah,
from our very own Indian guitar players, Roy Venkatraman. He could play the guitar upside down or play it the other way as well, left-handed.
yeah, I know about that. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Albert King, that's probably how he came up with it. Maybe because he pulled the strings down. I can't.
The other way around.
Yeah, I can't really put my finger on that. But the thing is, there's something that he did which other people, copied a lot. So, I think it probably came from stringing the guitar the other way around. I mean, playing it upside down.